Welcome back to You're So Fucking Enlightened. I'm Jeanie Baker, Intuitive Soul, Coaching and Retreats.
I'm Robbin Webb, podcaster of You're So Fucking Enlightened. So I have and also the owner of Solstice Punta Gorda, a unique retreat resort. Got other things coming up, but You're So Fucking Enlightened is a not so serious approach to all things spiritual, and we're here to talk to you today about.
Oh,
I'll start already. Okay.
Oh, you started? Get it. Get it. Flow.
Flow, bitches.
Flow, bitches. Love it.
Flow, right?
Flow, bitches.
All right. So, but first, before we get into that, how the fuck are you?
I'm in flow.
You're in flow?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not quite in flow. I have not felt in flow for a few weeks, but I feel it coming back. There are some practices that I have not been doing that normally keep me in flow, and I know this.
Which are?
Why haven't I been doing them? Because I'm in a fucking rut.
What are the practices? I'm curious.
My practices for being in flow are, in the past, historically, I have found myself in flow for the day. If I wake up in the morning, I have my little morning routine, my little coffee doggy routine, and I fucking go outside and I listen to music and I move my body.
Yeah.
And that's how I get into flow. Why haven't I been doing that? Also, it's fucking cold and I don't like being out there. That's why I moved to Florida, so I could be in more flow, because I could be outside for more of the year.
Mm-hmm. More consistency.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because in Virginia, I was not able to really go outside. I mean, I could, but I didn't want to go outside from about November all the way to about April something. And so that's a long time. And in Florida, we do have a winter here. It is a little, it's been in like the 40s and 50s in the morning. Mm-hmm. Sometime. It is currently February. So it's been cold in the morning for a couple of months consistently. And so I haven't done it. And guess what? I'm in a fucking rut.
Yeah.
But it's okay, because it's warming up. And I'm starting to feel like I'm coming out of the rut.
And you're aware of it.
I'm very aware of it. And I know what I need to do.
And also not just know what you need to do, being in that, okay, this is where I am right now, in that acceptance, and I'm going to accept it, and I'm going to move forward and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it's been interesting. So Robbin and I, before, we kind of have an outline of our podcast. We talk about like what we want to talk about. We set things up, and something like dynamic that I like about our friendship and our relationship is our brains work totally different. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of the same beliefs, and also we have some of the different beliefs. And so I always feel that, this is real life. Real life, like I have all types of friends from different backgrounds, different belief systems. And it's so important for us in our friendships, I believe, to hold space for each other, to just convey, right, our thoughts.
Yeah.
And communicate. Yeah. And come into a safe space together.
Yeah.
Where how you feel matters, how I feel matters, what you believe matters, what I believe matters. And
we're not talking to a fucking echo. Nobody wants to be in a fucking echo chamber.
Exactly.
Where everything I say, you're like, I agree with you, I agree with you, I agree with you. Like, fucking, we need to be a little more interesting.
Well, and also, we both just get bored as fuck with that.
Right.
Like, in our personalities, right? So, yeah, so that's something, when we were talking about flow, I'm like, oh, this is, mine, and Robin's like, oh.
And like, we had little different ways. We realized it was just different ways of communicating.
And I love it.
Yeah. I have to take a little pause, though, because like you said, this is real fucking life. And there is an issue on the screen that is making me a little nervous. So I have to come up to the screen real quick. No, we're okay. Okay.
All right.
I didn't see the ticker of the clock.
Okay.
And I was like, are we talking into an echo chamber? Sorry, I know that that's kind of unprofessional, but it's real life. And we don't, obviously, I'm sure you can tell, we don't have a professional podcast studio at this moment. So we are in our fucking living room.
Exactly.
And that's where we're talking about it. But back to what we were saying about us having different ideas about it. Let's talk, first of all, I have to start at the beginning. I got to back it up a little bit. My teaching experience coming in. What do we mean when we talk about flow? We can't just jump into it. Like flow 101. What is flow? What are we even fucking talking about?
Yeah. So we're going to have this open discussion. Flow is... Oh, so did you get the thumbs up?
We're recording on the phone, obviously.
We are, flow is unique to everyone. However, I do believe that there is a
common
fundamental aspect for everyone.
Yeah.
And that is synchronicities.
Yep.
That is coincidences.
Yep.
That is ease.
Some of the always signs.
That is signs.
Yeah.
And also that is the deep awareness when obstacles show up. Am I able to move them, or is that something that I now need to redirect? I feel like that is a fundamental part, if you will, parts of being in flow.
Yes, absolutely. I'll use an example, if I may.
Yes.
This is an example of like a real world situation that I feel like we as women and maybe even some men have all experienced. But I think I'm just using it as an example of like a woman's experience with waiting for the man to call. Okay, so let's talk about you. There's a guy you really like. Okay. And you maybe been on a date or two. And this has literally happened to me. And you're thinking about this guy a lot, okay? And you're like sort of trying to force the relationship. You feel like you're putting a little more effort and energy into this relationship than the other person is. This could be for any freaking gender, whatever. But you're just feeling that way. And so this is not flow, okay? Because you're trying to force something that is not flowing easily.
Yes.
Okay. So
I smile and smirk
because you probably know where I'm going with this.
No, because as you said that, I reflect on my own life and being like, oh, I've totally done that.
Okay.
I can remember the experience of a boyfriend being, I don't want a serious relationship right now, and me being like, well, that will change with me.
Okay. But also we make up these stories in our heads too. Like maybe he's you think that he's not that into you, or he just doesn't like you and that's why like he's not calling or texting or whatever. But maybe he just has a fucking job and or he's distracted or whatever. You never fucking know until you know. But my point in saying that is you're sitting at home, you're waiting for them to text, you're going to bed checking your phone, stalking him on social media, whatever. Trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. And that is an energy that is not in flow. However, the next day you wake up, a friend calls and they want you to go hiking with them. So you are like, you're like, maybe you don't really want to go because you want to fucking stay here and check your phone every 5 minutes. You want to be available in case he calls. Da 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 da. We've all been there. But your friend is like, I'll buy you fucking lunch. And you're like, fuck yeah, I'm coming. So you go, right? And you get to the fucking mountain or the fucking beach or wherever you're hiking. And you put your phone in your back pocket or you put it in your backpack, wherever, right? And you get so caught up in talking with your friend or walking and the nature around you, and like you stop thinking about that. You stop spinning on that for a while. And your friend's telling you about this amazing trip they just went on, and you're really in the moment of what you're doing. And then you go to lunch and you sit down and you have this amazing meal, and there's a fucking band playing and it's fucking great and it's beautiful outside, and you're not even fucking worried about what the fuck is going on anywhere else because you are here.
Yes.
And you get home, you get in the car and you're getting ready to go home, and you're like, I haven't even fucking checked my phone all day. But you do, and there he is.
Mm-hmm.
because you've been in the fucking flow.
Yeah.
He showed back up.
Yeah.
Right. And so you are having fun and you are not forcing anything. You are just allowing what is going to happen while also enjoying your life.
Yeah. And being in the moment.
And I know that's happened to me. Like,
for sure.
I like stop fucking worrying about it, stop fucking thinking about it, and just let it go. And then it flows in the way that I want it to, or
100%.
that I've been hoping for, whatever. So, because you're just putting a total different kind of energy out into the world. Exactly. And you're attracting more of it back.
Yeah. And I think that's also like that fundamental of flow is like being immersed in the moment, whatever that moment is.
Yeah.
So that could be in the shower. Like I get a lot of downloads, what I call downloads in the shower. I also get them a lot when I drive. It's like messages from whoever talks to me. And it is like, because I am 100% in that moment.
Yeah.
There is no other thoughts anywhere around anything in that time.
Right.
I am in flow to receive the messages. Yeah. Yes.
Even fucking gym rats would be like, I mean, stop. That's real. Like, they're in the zone because they were just all in on that workout and they're feeling in their body and they're feeling in their passion and they're just like, they're there. They're not somewhere else.
Yeah.
But it's true.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah. And a lot of people find it. There's this little podcaster. I don't know how big she is. I've never seen her in real life, but she has a little voice. So I guess this is a podcaster that I used to follow, and she was real big on flow, and she would post like little things on her social media about how she got into flow. She woke up in the morning and she like went to a cafe and she took her laptop and she got her little coffee and she got her little croissant or whatever, and she would work at this cafe, and like that was her flow. Mm-hmm. That was when things started happening for her. That's when things just started moving in the direction that she was wanting it to move in without forcing it, because it just. But let's talk about
and that's like complete opposite of me.
Yeah,
I would totally be distracted.
Yeah, but
taking my laptop to a cafe.
Yeah,
totally distracted on that. Yeah, for sure.
No, I could do it for sure if I had something to put in my ears. Noises distract me a lot. So if I had some like noise canceling headphones, I would be able to pay attention, but it's the noises distract me. The sights don't so much, but yeah, I could see that for me too. That would probably be good for me, but let's talk about like what it looks like when you are in the zone, and like what starts happening when you're in flow. Like when you're in flow versus when you're not in flow. I feel like we sort of just started describing that, but like.
Yeah. And I also feel like on a couple of different podcasts too we've done this season, we've tapped into a little bit of that. And then this is why we wanted to make an episode specifically to target the vibration of flow and like asking the question to yourself, like, is my life in flow right now? And when we make decisions of a direction that we want to go in, are we also able to see if the universe, God, whoever, the energy is saying, yo, it's not your time right now.
Yeah.
So for instance, when I lived in Costa Rica, in 2015, I got the message. My time is done. It was like, your time is done. It's time to go. Okay, but no, Jeanie Baker, the stubborn part of me was like, fuck that. I'm not ready to go yet.
Yeah.
So looking back in reflection, I got out of flow and also created self-suffering for myself. Okay. So let's talk about that. Okay. If you are, and a lot of people, y'all don't want to hear that shit, but we're going to be real with you. I'm going to be real with you. I love it. Because we all create self-suffering for ourselves. It just happens. Yeah. It's part of our human experience. And also when we can start to shift some energy around that, we'll create less and less self-suffering when we learn how to be in flow more consistently, and also finding joy and also loving ourselves and all of these kind of dynamics and components together. We're living in that. So flow. Do you feel, just ask your question just right now. Do you feel life is working with you or against you? Do you feel like there are signs throughout your day that you are in the right direction on your particular path? Do you feel that there are a lot of things that are coming at you versus for you? Also ask, are you in receiving? Are you able to receive? Are you able to allow life to move with you?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you constantly pushing against it?
Mm-hmm.
These are questions right now just to ask yourself.
Yeah.
That way you can get a real good
gauge,
thank you,
yeah,
of your self-discovery path right now, of your life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but let's talk about, does that mean that we should not try? Because obstacles come no matter what, even when we're in flow.
100%.
So does that mean that we should just allow the obstacles to happen and back off? When should we allow the obstacles? How can we discern between, there's been so many fucking roadblocks?
Yes.
When do I just
Change
detour?
course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when do I make the decision? When do I change course, or should I keep trying to overcome the obstacles?
Yes, I love this question so much. So if your obstacle becomes a boulder,
Yeah,
that is, for me, in my experience, that is the time to make a detour.
Yeah.
So an obstacle is like a rock, right? It's because we should be able to move that rock, right? And continue on our path. But if that obstacle becomes a motherfucking boulder, and the more that we try to push through it,
Yeah.
the boulder gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Right.
It is the message of like, I'm going to use like pivot, like it's, so maybe your target, your goal, your intention of the path that you're on, maybe the long term is not for you, or maybe it's just you're going to take a different path in order to get what you want.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That for me, so I was going to do ayahuasca in 2013 and go to a ceremony, and had purchased my ticket, if you will, but transportation, I was having a real obstacle in the transportation of how I was going to get there. Mm-hmm. And normally you could just take a bus, blah, blah, blah. Nothing was working. And all of a sudden it was like, stop, Jeanie, pause. Because also if I'm running really fast, I'm also not noticing the obstacles if they become boulders. So we got to learn how to slow down. And it was like, wait a minute. You've been trying to move this obstacle of transportation for a while. It's not fucking moving. So we need to put it down. Mm-hmm. It is not your time to go.
I love that.
And then
I like that analogy of the boulder.
Yeah. And for me, every single time. So also for me in my life, if my life isn't moving, if I'm feeling stuck, then I know I'm not in flow. Mm-hmm. Because we all have these friends. You call them up and you're like, yo, dude, what's up? Yeah. What's going on? They're like, nothing. And you're like, I haven't talked to you in 2 months. Nothing is fucking going on. Fucking stagnant. Right? So that means you are not in flow of your fucking life. Yeah. There should always be constant movement in your life. Whatever that is being in flow. Yeah. Where there is, because we are part of evolutionary change. Yeah. And so our lives should be a reflection of that if we're in flow.
Yeah. I agree. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And when you were asking those questions, to ask if you're in flow, I'm just quietly answering them. Mm-hmm. No, I'm not feeling it. No, I don't feel that either. No, I don't feel it. But I do know that I have been in my past in flow.
Yes.
And how did I get there? To me, being in flow, it's a mindset shift, and it's also for me very physical.
Yeah.
I do get more in flow if I have physical activity in my life. And I do get more in flow when I finally stop trying to force things and just allow things to happen. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to, I don't want to say that I'm going to get up in the morning and start and go on my walk, because I know that it will not bring me joy that I need if it's cold.
Yeah, It's weather dependent.
It is. It's very, very weather.
Yeah, and that's okay.
And so it has to be like at least like in the mid to upper 60s for me to even think about and sunny for me to even think about going outside. Or it has to be like 70, 80 cloudy or sunny, whatever. So I know that it's going to be dependent on that. So I cannot make that commitment to myself until it starts warming up. So I am allowing that to be part of the flow right now. And like, I'm just allowing that to wait that out because I do have faith that it's coming. I looked at the forecast for next week and it's looking a little bit warmer. So I'm hoping I'll be able to get to go back into that more next week because like there's something for me about music is a big part of my flow of music. My song choices that I make, they bring me so much joy and they really flip my mindset into just a more allowing, having fun, seeing life on a different, a lighter and more positive way, I guess, rather than just like do bad things keep happening to me? Do these roadblocks keep popping up? These are kind of things that have been happening to me lately. But also like I'm very aware that I'm not a victim of the things that are happening to me. They're not happening to me, like nobody's out to get me. I hate that sound of like, if I didn't have bad luck, I wouldn't have any at all. My dad said that to me recently and I was like, no, I refuse that. Like that is not,
I didn't reject that shit.
I did. I was like, nope, that is not the way life is. So, so I don't subscribe to that, at all. I'm not a victim to the things that have happened. I'm just sort of aware that there's going to be a lesson for me somewhere. Yeah. Sometimes the lessons don't come right away. Sometimes it just takes a little while.
It's true. And in the bigger picture, I love everything that you said. So I want to like integrate what you shared in the bigger picture.
Yeah.
So in the bigger picture, ask yourself who you're surrounding yourself with. Are they also of the mindset that life is like totally working against them? And
she's in flow. I'm never trying to get her the fuck out of flow. Like, you stay in flow, bitch. You can bring me in flow.
Well, exactly. Those people are just like, fuck yes to life, and they are like moving, right? They're moving.
Right.
And also, what Robbin shared about the mindset is so important. Because your mind and your thoughts have energy on them, have energy with them. And so watch what your thoughts are, because if you are in a constant state of this is going to happen. If you're in a constant state of this is going to happen. Whatever it is that you are in a constant state of in your mindset. So something about an abundance mindset. So abundance for me is like, I will always have more than enough. This is also like, I feel like modern society has created these gurus, these experts, these master class people, this whatever you want to term, right? Okay, so I'm just going to like debunk all that shit. Because we all shit the same. Like we all show up the same. The difference is we are in a level of awareness. So for me, I have chosen a path where I do self-reflection every day. I am, am I working with myself, Jeanie? Like, or am I fucking blocking my own wisdom? Am I blocking my own joy, my own flow? So this is what I feel like it all comes to the gurus, the experts, or whatever you want to call it, is choose to be in a life of self-awareness where you know that you're responsible for yourself, you're responsible for your choices, and your inner world is a direct reflection of your outer world, right? So my journey right now with my dual citizenship, there's obstacles that show up. There's different things. I'm like, how the fuck am I going to have the money for all this? I don't know, because I don't know the how. I'm going to trust, because we're constantly coming back to that. And so if you just enjoy your life and be able to weave with it, because there's no direct line. So any of you trying to make a direct line to a goal, an intention, or anything you want, just know that there's no motherfucking direct line.
Right.
And at the end of the day, when we choose to let go of outcomes, that is being in flow.
That's right. Being attached to the outcome of things and just allowing life to, well, allowing the things to show themselves the direction that it's meant for us.
Yeah. So I feel like flow and manifesting, they're the same.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of people, I remember back in the day, people were like, oh, you can't just meditate your whole fucking life, Jeanie, and just expect shit to happen. Of course, I'm not fucking saying that.
Right.
What we're saying is there is components to.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to fucking slow down.
You got to slow down.
And
you also have to take action. Like,
you got to take action.
Yeah.
And so action is different than tasks.
Yeah.
And so what happens here and what happens in your heart will also result in the action that you take.
Yeah.
So notice your life. Notice your mindset. Notice how you feel. Like, what are you feeling towards yourself? What are you feeling towards your life? So Eckhart Tolle in A New Earth talks about, like, when you're in flow, there's no more such thing as coincidences. Yeah. It just happens. Even like you'll think about a person and they'll fucking text you. Yeah. Right? Yeah. You'll think about a person and you dream about them. They visit you in your dreams. Yeah. And so
that's definitely like a indication.
It's a big indication. You're like, I mean, I've done it so many times. It's like, I'll think about something like, oh, I really want this. And someone would be like, oh, here you go. Here's a purple shirt. And I'll be like, fuck, man. I just thought about wanting a purple shirt.
Yeah. My husband and I email each other at the same time all the time.
Yeah, I love that.
We do it all the time.
Yeah. So notice your life. And so this is what curiosity brings to the table. When you choose to be curious, when you choose to learn how to be your own observer, let go of the outcome, and just be in a receiving mode consistently, let life move through you. Right? Be open in your heart. Because if you're constantly doing this all the motherfucking time, I'm going to say that your heart is not motherfucking open. So go ahead and do the goalposts, my friends. Open the heart, which then opens the mind, and you'll receive more flow.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Do you have questions? What do you want to know? Oh, let's talk about numbers real quick.
Okay.
Because that's something that I like talking. One of the things that I have asked for as a sign is to, like, if I'm going in the right direction, or if I'm going in the flow and allowing the flow to happen, all of that shit. I've sort of asked for signs of like 1111, 222, 444, 333. And I mean, even though I don't feel like I'm in the flow right now, there are a lot of roadblocks and obstacles that are continuing to happen. I still have been seeing those numbers at least twice a day. Like when I look at the clock, I happen to look at the clock and it'll be 1111 or it'll be 444 or 555 or something, just like repeating numbers. And there can be other things too. Like there's one decision that I am getting ready to make, and I am asking myself for a sign, and I've made myself a sign. I'm not going to say what it is. I don't want anybody to be like, let me just text it to her real quick. I wanted to allow it to happen naturally. But this, it's like somebody did an owl, and it used to be a giraffe. And so a giraffe was my sign for solstice when I was first starting solstice. If I should be moving in this direction, please show me a giraffe? And I went to fucking Fisherman's Village one day, which is like this little shopping center near the property, when I was when we had went to visit the property. Me and my husband went to see it the first time, and we were walking down Fisherman's Village. There's this toy shop. This big fucking stuffed giraffe was on, like, in the window. And I was like, okay. And so now, like, I have a little giraffe over here on the side, and like giraffes kind of like now I'm like, it's sort of my way of thanking the giraffes. Like I have a few of them around my house now, but this is a different sign. It's very different than a giraffe. So we'll see.
Yeah. And I also feel like so many people, like, also for our brains, we need that validation.
Yeah.
So asking for signs is also like just a validation. Like, okay, I am on the right path. Yeah. Asking for a sign, I am on the right path. So this is where a lot of times, our brain needs that validation. So if you feel exactly like that Robbin feels like right now, ask for that. Yeah. Because it will definitely show up for you.
If it's supposed to be, And if it's not, don't fucking make it up either. Don't be like, oh, well, you know, it was like you asked to see a fucking bald eagle, but you didn't. But you saw a hawk, and you're like, oh, well, it's around. You know, it's been close enough. You know, no, you asked for a fucking bald eagle, bitch. If it didn't show up, then maybe let's just reassess.
Yeah. Well, that is the thing about life. Like, we can condition and rationalize and validate anything we fucking want to. Like, this is just a condition that we're in.
Yeah.
And so we got to step back from that.
Yeah.
And be the observer in our own life.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a little woo woo, but there's a lot of woo woo shit that I don't believe in. Really, I really can't get fully behind astrology. I know that's hard to believe, but I can't.
I can.
I don't fully give a lot of energy to that because reasons, but I don't not fully. But there are aspects of it that I don't agree with. I'll just leave it at that. So, but with the sign thing, like I am the proof is in the pudding type of thing. Like, if I have seen it and experienced it, then I fucking believe it. And I have experienced it. So now I fucking believe it. So
the numbers really resonate with you.
The numbers resonate with me and the signs resonate with me. Yeah, they do.
Yeah. And that's okay. I don't give two shits about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to. Back in the day, I did. Like, when I would see numbers, especially like 444, it would be like, you know, the theory is it's around family and you're on the right path. Like, it used to resonate with me. Right now in my life, I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, we all have different tools and things that like resonate with us in the moment. Like the podcast that I just got off Lisa, she is a yoga instructor and she has been like on this spiritual path, and she has been into yoga forever, but like right now she's like, I'm just taking a break from yoga.
Yeah.
And like we all have different timing things, you know.
That's true.
They may come back for you one day and they may leave me one day.
And that's being in flow.
That's being in flow, baby.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Let's close with that.
All right, great.
Yeah, I love that.
All right.
So, friends, ask the questions.
Yeah.
Trust yourself. Trust your inner wisdom.
Ask yourself, has there been any moments where you felt more in flow than others, and what were you doing when that happened?
Yeah.
And because then maybe you want to do more of that.
Yep. And I'm gonna say more. It was about your mindset. Yeah. Allowing.
Yeah.
For sure. So we'd love to hear from you. Email us, message us here, comment on the YouTubes, find us on social media. I am jeanniebaker.com. I'm also at Intuitive Soul Coaching and Retreats.
I'm Robbin Webb, 2 B's in both my names, Robbin, RBBIN, _Webb, WEBB on Instagram. Facebook is just Robbin Webb. If you want to see more information about my retreat property, Solstice, Punta Gorda, www.solsticepg.com. There's also some more, there will be more business stuff coming up to release to you.
Yeah. So we thank you. It's just such a pleasure to tap in with you each week and open up some discussions about the unseen and unknown world, and to talk about experiences and see what your thoughts and feelings are.
And to have fun, because it's not so fucking serious.
Exactly. Have a beautiful day. Ciao.
Bye.